Rock Me Mama.
Hi, I'm Macy Pruitt.
And I'm Amie Mariello.
This is
Rock Me Mama.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Oh, it's fun.
toddlers because we got one each.
We got toddlers.
Eli is currently 2 and almost 3 months. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Farrah's about to be 2.
She's turning 2 literally in 2 weeks.
Let's see. What's 37 weeks and 1 day? Whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her birthday is my due date.
She is in full toddler effect.
Yeah.
She is throwing tantrums about everything. Mm-hmm. And I think that like I jinxed myself because a few weeks ago I said to you guys, you know what? It's like I feel like I paid my dues. Like she was so bad when she was a little baby. She was so unhappy and cried so much and it was crazy. And now she's such a joy. Mm-hmm. And really she went through this little angel baby stage. And the second I fucking said that, she was like, you think I'm a joy? Bitch.
Yeah, you think you paid your dues?
You think I'm done with you, bitch? And then she just fucking crushed me. And every day she crushes me. She wakes up and she's like, I'm going to ruin your fucking life today. How's that feel, Mom? I'm like, great.
Mommy,
feels great. Mommy.
Let me ruin your life.
Mommy, help it me. Mommy.
Except it's
so
life.
Cute. Yeah.
Let me ruin your life.
Yeah. Mommy, help it me.
No,
but that is cute. The mommy, help it me.
Oh, it is cute.
Mommy, help it me.
It's so cute.
Oh, it's so cute.
That's what it is, though. It's like you want to lose your mind and then you're like, God, I love you so much.
Because they're so beautiful. Like, this is such a cute age where they're as cute as they'll maybe ever be.
Ever.
And they're so sweet. Like, she also, aside from, being tough, she also gives me tons of hugs and kisses.
No, they're Sour Patch Kids. Y'all have all heard me say it 1,000 times, but I am convinced that the creator, the idea behind Sour Patch Kids
is a toddler.
Whoever came up with it had a toddler at the time, because nothing describes a toddler better than first they're sour, then they're sweet. They literally, like, E will hurl himself off of his, like, learning tower onto the ground face first and, like, kick and scream like you see in movies.
Yeah.
And before becoming mom, you're like, kids don't do that.
No, they do. They throw themselves on the ground.
Right. And he'll do that. And, like, nobody knows why. Like, he doesn't know why. Like, nobody knows why he's throwing this tantrum. And you, like, give him a second. And then next thing you know, he's like, up, peas. And then he wraps his arms around me and goes, kiss. Love you, which is love you. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that was weird, but I love you too.
Yeah, you're like, that's really a little, you're actually terrifying because you might be psychotic.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's literally.
Lash you.
Yeah. I mean, like the flip of a switch.
Yeah.
And you just have to go like this with them. You just ride it with them.
Yep.
Because you can't ask questions. Because they don't know why they're throwing
I don't understand. Do yours wake up from naps really mad? Like,
if it's a long nap.
Yeah, she wakes up from naps sometimes and it's like, dude, you just slept like 2.5 hours. Like, shouldn't you be like
in a better spot than me, for sure.
Yeah, like if I slept 2.5 hours, I'd be so fucking pumped on life.
If it's
she's
a longer
like,
nap.
I hate you. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing with my kid is she wants only me all the time. Like, she wants to crawl back inside my womb and like live on me. And she just found my boobs the other day. So I haven't breastfed. I stopped at 16 months and now she's going to be 2. So I how many months is that? I don't fucking know. 24 months is 2. Yeah. So I haven't been breastfeeding. So
it's been 8 months, right? 8 months.
I haven't breastfed in 8 months and I barely show her my boobs. Like, I try not to change in front of her because she just starts like, she'll see my boobs and she'll be like it's natural. Her little mouth will just be like, I remember that, like what those are for. And so, but lately, the past week, she's found my boobs again and she pulls down my shirt and goes, Mommy, boobie. And then she pinches my nipples and starts groping my boobs and laughing hysterically. That's the new thing.
She's just probably infatuated.
And then Nick is like, oh yeah, I get it. And I'm like, can you give me some help?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you not be creepy?
Infatuated with him.
Yeah.
Chase is like
obsessed with my boobs.
Chase is not like that. Eli is like that with Chase's penis.
Really? Mm-hmm.
But he also does that
He like
thing-
grabs it.
No, he doesn't
No.
grab it. But you know that thing, I'm about to embarrass Chase. Y'all just, even if your husbands don't do this, say that they do. You know when men stand and go like that? Okay.
Yeah. They all do it.
Chase will do that in front of E, and he's like, oh, and it's the funniest thing ever,
Yeah.
and he'll like try to do it.
Well, because E has probably a tiny little version of Chase's penis.
Yeah.
I always joke about Farrah's tiny little puffy vagina. It's like staring in a tiny little puffy mirror. You know, the second I saw her tiny little vagina, I was like, that is my vagina as a tiny little pillow. Like you're staring at your own tiny vagina.
It makes sense.
It's so funny. So I guess for little penises, I wonder if Bill thinks that and Chase think that, like, you're staring at a teeny tiny little mini version of your peenie.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be funny, but it's also got to be funny for the babies because they're like, oh, dad has the thing that I have.
Well, and they immediately know that whatever, like boobs, vagina, not so much butt, but they know like those are things. Like
They know that it's like forbidden things.
Yeah.
She'll bust open the door when Nick's peeing and just stare at his penis. And he's like, get out of here. She's like, Daddy.
But she's like, I don't have one.
She doesn't know what it is.
I don't always see that.
She has no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
She's like, Daddy. And he's like, get out of the bathroom.
Oh, it's so funny. That's the one thing too that Chase is like so proud of. Like I remember the first time that he saw Eve's little, because boys get little boners.
Little dilly.
Yeah.
Oh, little boners.
Yeah.
Do they all at this age they do?
I feel like erection is probably a better and more appropriate word to use for a toddler, but
little toddler erections.
yeah, they get them. And I remember the first few times Chase was like, hell yeah. Like so excited about
Really?
it. Yeah.
They get them for no reason?
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I think you can blow on it and it just kind of.
Yeah.
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 That would be so weird.
Yeah, but he's like, his pride and joy is anything having to do with that.
Well, I don't.
We were at our ultrasound last Friday too for Wyatt, and Chase this was like the end of the ultrasound, and it was a long one, and so because it was a BPP test, so they're doing. I mean, it was like a 30-minute ultrasound.
Yeah.
And one of the last things that they checked was his penis.
Yeah.
And so Chase had been like zoned out for a second. I think he was looking at his phone or looking down to drink water or something. And the ultrasound tech said, and there's his boy parts. And Chase literally, before she could even finish saying parts, was like,
Yeah.
looking up. I'm like, you needed to check that out.
Yeah.
There's like this sense of pride.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, I think it's very different for girl dads. Like
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Nick is like, so even if Farrah like has a little crush on a little boy that's like 4, he's like, I don't think that boy should come over. I'm like, he's fucking 4, dude.
Every
he's
time
4.
we talk,
they're not hooking up.
Right.
She's
Every time
2.
we talk about with him that there's going to be one day when all the boys, because so Farrah is the only girl in our group.
Yeah.
And that's about to be even more so the case because I've got a boy
coming.
Spencer
our
has
other
a boy
friend,
coming.
yeah.
And so it's Farrah and all of these boys, and man, she keeps up so well. But
She is the dirtier, like she is the one rolling in the mud. She's the one.
yeah.
She is the brute.
Yeah. She keeps up.
She
So
is a
well.
such a tomboy.
But anytime we joke about like there is going to be one day where these boys,
Oh, because she's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And she's going to be beautiful. And
they're going to realize it at one point. And
I wonder
anytime
what
we
age
talk
they're going to
about
realize.
that, Nick is like, stop, don't
Nick's
talk about it.
Nick
I don't
doesn't
wanna
even
hear.
like to think hypothetically what's going
Yeah.
to happen. But there is going to be an age. I know that Farrah will have a crush on the boys before they do because women, girls notice boys sooner.
Yeah.
Girls notice boys as kids. Like
Yeah.
as little kids, I remember
Like
having
kindergarten.
crushes. Oh, in first grade, I used to chase this kid named David Lupinacci, David Lombardi.
Give
I don't
him a
know.
shout out.
Something like that. David
are you
something.
still out there?
David something Italian with an L. I used to chase him around and forcefully kiss him against his will. And I did it all the time until my had to call my parents and say, David really doesn't appreciate Amie is forcefully kissing him throughout the day. And
Oh, David.
I made him really uncomfortable. I was like,
David, if you're still out there,
I was like sexually molesting David. And I didn't know. I just liked him so much. Couldn't help it.
The one that got away. Just kidding.
The one that got away,
the
man.
Real MVP.
No, but I vividly remember crushes on boys.
Yeah.
There were always construction workers at my house because my dad was always doing renovations. And I remember coming downstairs and thinking like the construction workers, probably in their 20s and 30s, by the way, were hot. And I remember as like a little kid being like, anyone want any lemonade? Like literally coming down and like trying to present myself as someone that makes lemonade for your enjoyment. Like, anyone need a lemonade? I'm like 10.
Right.
My mom's like, go upstairs.
Yeah,
what
go.
the fuck
What
are
are
you
you
doing?
doing? Oh,
I'm like, these guys are hot. But you're like little, whereas boys, I think they think girls are gross.
Yeah, they don't
until
care.
they're almost like preteens.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen.
I'm dreading that too.
One day they're going to be like, oh, Farrah is our friend, but
Yeah.
she's also really pretty.
Yeah. Oh.
And then when she goes through puberty, they're all, because remember going through puberty, all of a sudden all your friends start treating you different. And you're like, wait, we were just friends. And now you have a gooey look in your eye.
And then it's weird. Yeah. Ugh.
Shut up. The second you grow boobs.
Yeah. Still waiting.
Producer Morgan is saying that she didn't grow boobs. She's got some nice little boobies.
She does. Look at him.
Look at those.
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
So would you say you liked baby phase more stage or toddler stage?
Oh, God. I would say, I look back at pictures and videos now. I was clearly in love with her, and we were having such a good time, her and I. For sure. When she was a baby. But I love the toddler phase, even though it's so fucking hard. You get so much back. I really don't like the infant phase. I will say that. I will say until she was about 5 months, 5 months, I considered it living hell. Mm-hmm. But at 4 or 5 months, when they start like really laughing and smiling and like really like rolling around and all that, and they're just little dumplings. Mm-hmm. And then at 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 months, oh my God, they're just little dumplings that just sit up, but they can't really do much else. You plop them on the floor and get ready or have your coffee. Yeah. And you just plop them. You don't worry what they're going to do or destroy. You don't worry about anything. You're just like, there you are. Because you can't really move much.
Yeah. Oh, those days are so nice.
Weren't those beautiful times? Yeah. And then they start crawling and you're like, oh, fuck, I got to put up the baby gates. Right. And then they can't really get out of their baby gates. So they're still trapped.
Oh, they're comparatively,
so you can still have your coffee. And you can still watch a show and be like, you know what? I'm kind of living my life. Yeah. Then they start walking and life ends.
Life ends. It ends.
Right. Once they start walking, life ends.
No, why is that not a more known thing?
Well, people do, like the just wait moms. They do say, "Oh, wait till they walk."
Nobody just waited that on me.
A lot of people did to me, and I said, I want her to walk because she's going to be so happy. And I will say that is true. Yeah, I have a vastly happier child now that she is mobile,
for sure, and it is more fun.
They love their life once they can walk.
They do.
Because they feel like they can do anything.
Well, and you can do more with them.
Yeah. Well, once they're sturdy.
But your life, literally, like nobody told me that. Mm-mm. And the first weekend that E started walking, it was either the exact weekend we moved into our new house or the weekend after. And Chase had coincidentally, one of his best friends was having a bachelor trip that weekend that like, he had to go. I wasn't going to be like, no, you're not going because we're moving. And so Chase was out of town. We were in a new house, and this house was 8 times the size of our old house. I mean, we moved from this to our home now. And so the difference in like thinking that E like had this much room in our old house to our new house. Yeah. Chase was out of town the same weekend that E decided to start walking. And I literally remember it might have been the hardest consecutively that I've cried throughout motherhood since becoming a mom.
Well, because it's so dangerous when they start walking.
You don't know that they are on a mission to
kill themselves. Yeah, they are committed to ending up in the hospital.
To self-destruct.
They want to fall downstairs. They want to run into the corner of everything. You have to baby-proof your house so fucking good.
But you don't know that, though. You think you've baby-proofed. You have like a cute little gate here and a cute little like bumper thing on the end of the table. You don't realize that every door, every cabinet, every shelf. Like my child started trying to attempt climbing shelves
He's
when
a climber.
was like 14 months old.
Well, your kid also is like the most physically like capable child that I've ever seen. Like he can do like weird gymnastics.
He can, but
he's so good at like he'll look at me and be like, and then he'll free fall off the couch. And I'm like, why did you give me that look? Like, hey,
watch me.
Aunt Amy, I'm going to kill myself. It's like, oh my God. And he smiles and then just falls.
No, he knows what he's doing.
But he does it well. He's good. Whereas my kid is long and she's just grew so much, like really fast. And so she is like Nick was, like a baby giraffe, where she's just like the clumsiest. She falls and she trips. She can't get it right. She is not physics. She's not your kid. She's not doing gymnastics. She ain't going to be a dancer. Let me tell you, she's not going to be a stunt woman either.
Yeah.
It's not her forte.
She also could recite the alphabet backwards by now.
She's also really smart.
Yeah,
she's really smart.
They all have their traits. But
it's so dangerous.
The first weekend that he started walking, I remember I called Chase's dad's his stepmom, Chase's stepmom, really close with her, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I felt silly being like, he's walking and this is the hardest thing that I've ever done, because it sounds silly when you're saying it, because it should be this like, he's walking it's so fun.
Yeah.
But everything was like, it was like there were like little like bombs planted everywhere, and I just had to like, what was the game, like Minesweeper?
They trip on everything.
My house was
too.
Minesweeper.
They trip and they hit themselves the amount of times they hit their face.
Constant. And
I was like Googling,
stage, like at that point of parenthood where like even a little head bump, you're like, they're gonna die.
I was Googling soft helmets because I was like literally thinking she was gonna have brain damage, because I was like, how do I? And I looked it up. I was like, my kid's gonna be one of those fucking kids with the helmet on.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be brain damaged.
Right.
She hit her head on everything every day.
25 times an hour.
Still does, but she's so much more. And she's really sturdy now. She can run. She runs directly into things still without looking. And I'm like, what's happening? But in those first few months of them walking, it is fucking awful.
It's horrible.
It's so cute, but it's awful.
And it is fun. Like once you're like, okay, this is where we're at, then you adjust. But that abrupt shift from crawling and thinking you have control over it to walking and then nobody having control over anything, including them, it's so hard.
Yeah.
But then they become, they're on a mission to self-destruct then. But then they
still are
confidence.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, now we're at the phase where you can't leave a knife on a counter. You can't leave a door, anything open. They'll get to it. You can't leave. They'll get in. I mean, she's constantly trying to get into our cabinet with the cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
And you cannot look away. You can't blink.
No.
Because now they're capable.
Well, and they're fearless.
They're fearless. And they're also and hearts like this, determined to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Like if they want nothing more than to fuck your shit up. Like they wake up every day and they're like, I'm going to fuck this house up and I'm going to get into everything. Like, both of your kids come to my house and they're like, where's that closet that Amy doesn't want me to be? Okay, let me open that and let's rip everything out of it.
Right.
Because now they're smart enough to know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
She looks at me and she goes, no. And I'm like, I said no. She goes, no. And then she goes and does that thing and goes, no. And I'm like, I hate you so much. She goes,
does, though.
She laughs hysterically in my
Amy's
face. Maniacally laughs in my face.
That is how she talks.
No. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I hope she's 16 and she's like,
no.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you have to be, they keep you on your toes. But you also... There is a shift, or at least I have done this. You have done this. You've gotten better about this since we've become friends. You cannot not care as much, but like you have to let them be a little reckless. Like you have to let them
for me
jump and fall and take.
I used to literally be the parent that follows, like does this around. Now I'm like, all right, you're going to stand on that table and you're going to fall and hit your head. Yeah. What am I going to do about it? You have to do it.
Because they're going to do it anyways. And like my philosophy, especially when I found out I was having another boy, I was like, something switched in my brain of like, this is your life. You're literally about to live in chaos of your child being confident enough to jump from the top of the sofa onto the floor and then roll into a somersault because he does that.
Yeah.
And I just have to be
he's like really crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Wyatt's going to see him and be like, hell yeah, I'm going to try that too.
You
I
know
feel
what
like he's
else?
going to be even worse.
Wyatt's going to be a crazy man. His name's Wyatt.
I know. It's gonna be crazy.
You know what else though? They're at the stage now where they're repeating everything that you say. And so literally you have to watch, and you have to watch what you do because when they're really little, before this, you can do anything in front of them and you're like, who are you going to fucking tell?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell that I'm picking my nose right now. Like,
Right.
you're not going to say shit. Now you can't do anything.
You can't. And picking the nose especially.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him do that, I was like, how did you? And I'm like,
And they're like, oh,
you've seen me do that. You've seen me do that. And I can't even be mad at you.
And like, she said the other day, she was just like, oh, shit. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, they've all said shit. Yeah.
What am I going to do? But Nick told me, so you know that, I told you guys this, but you know that like poop tea, smooth move?
Yeah.
I have that because I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, I got to go. I can't go.
Yeah.
And so Nick was like, I drank your poop tea the other day.
No.
Nick, I guess he was like, I was feeling stocked up. I'm like, okay.
What? So he went one time instead of 3 times during the day? Get over
I take it when I haven't gone in like 3 days.
Right.
He takes it. He was like, I only took 2 dumps today, so I needed some poop tea. So he took my poop tea, and I wasn't home. I was at the studio, and then I had a show. So he was with her all day and then night. And he said that he didn't know how like it worked so well.
Oh, God.
And he said that he was sitting there with her and he was just like farting.
You did not tell me this.
That he was just like crushing farts. And Farrah was looking at him.
farts.
Yeah. So Farrah was looking at him. She was going, Daddy poopy. Daddy poopy. Every time he farted, she'd laugh and say, Daddy poopy. And he was like, yeah, girl, your daddy's going to poopy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. And she says now, whenever she farts, she goes, big farts.
Big farts every time. Oh my God, that's so funny. He hasn't started saying like farts and poop, but I know from my nephew that whole stage of like butt being funny and like.
Oh yeah, that's coming. And then it doesn't end because I still thought farts and poop were fun. I mean, I still do. I'm 40 years old and farts and poop still make me laugh.
Every time one of the kids fart, I laugh every time.
Every time she farts, we both laugh.
Yeah.
Because now she knows that farting is funny.
Yeah. But all of our kids have cussed, which who do we have to blame for that?
Us.
Yeah. But I also don't want to grow up in a household that's like, oh, fiddlesticks. Like, I don't need him saying that, you know?
No, I refuse to be a fiddlestick household.
My mom, where like Eli knows penis and boobie. Like, that's how we're going to be. My mom called penises tiddlywinks.
No. Did your brother think that he had a tiddlywink?
Tiddlywink was what my brother's penis was. For all of us, it was a tiddlywink. And I remember that.
Suck that tiddlywink.
Yeah, and that's not going to be
so bad.
It's going to be penis.
Yeah, penis.
Yeah. There's some really bad vagina names.
Farrah says vagina. She goes, vagina.
It is a vagina.
I said, that's your little vagina.
It doesn't need to be a...
She found it in the bath like a while back and she was like, Mommy, I said, that's your little vagina, babe.
Yeah, let's
and you
like
can touch it and you're the only person that can.
Right.
For the rest of your life. Right. Nobody else can touch your fucking vagina or your dad's going to
Nick
kill
is
everybody.
Fist pumping in the background right now. Yeah, we're not doing pet names for body parts. Teach their own, but don't use tiddlywink.
No. Just say penis, vagina.
Or call it like...
Also, you want them to know because you want them to know where it's not appropriate to be touched.
Yeah.
Because we're going to start have to have conversations. I mean, with all the school fucking shootings, I don't know that they'll be in school. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But they'll be in situations with adults when we're not around. That's inevitable. So we have to have conversations with them about their body parts. And we have to start telling them like, it's okay. We can't shame them about touching themselves or anything. We have to be like, it is perfectly okay to touch your vagina or touch your penis in private.
Yeah.
It is not okay for anybody else to touch it.
Right.
And if someone does, you better tell us.
Right.
They have to know that, you know, because who knows? I guess all kids act different in crazy situations, but they have to, it comes from us. We have to start normalizing talking about sexuality. Yeah. Normalizing talking about body parts. You know? Like nobody told me about anything involving sex.
Me either. Especially, I know Moore grew up in she's over there making a
real religious
face. Yeah. Like a very religious, like I did too. That's what I was saying. And there was so much shame around all of that. And so
I learned on the school bus everything.
Right.
Everything on the bus. There was a girl named Beth Sabi, and she used to tell me everything. She's like, you know about blue balls?
Blue balls?
I was like, no. She told me about it. You know about blowjobs? This one kid.
How old were you?
Not young, not old, but not young enough to, well, yeah, too young to know about that stuff. But like, I had never known anything. And my brother and I, there was this kid named John at the bus stop that used to be like, you guys don't know anything. And we're like, yeah, we do. Totally.
Oh, John.
And he'd be like, you guys even know what horny means? And I was like, yeah, we know. And then I looked at my brother Anthony and I was like, do we know what horny means, right? I was like, we know. He goes, it's like corny. And I said, yeah, horny's like corny. He said, you guys are so lame. Like, you guys are so dumb. And we were just like, we don't know. Like, we literally don't know. Nobody fucking told us anything.
Yeah, it wasn't.
My parents hated each other. They had sex 4 times and there's 4 of us.
Right.
So it's like, nobody was like, this is the birds and the bees. We didn't have a book.
Yeah. No, none of that for us either. It was, I want there to be very open communication.
Yes, you
have
to talk about it.
Yeah, because otherwise, it has to be a topic of conversation.
And it's got to be a conversation young.
Yeah,
because kids are having sex young now.
Yeah. Oh, don't
and
say
kids,
that.
They are.
I know, but
and they're
don't
being
say
pressured, and they're being like, there's you know, there's Instagram and there's the internet and there's so much shit where we have to be the people that tell them pretty young, like, hey, you're going to see a bunch of crazy shit and this is what it's about.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it anytime soon, but you should know what it is.
These are the conversations that I like, that we talk about, that, you know, this episode is about toddlers, and here we are talking about who knows how old they're going to be. And like right now, toddlerhood feels like the most challenging stage, right? And I'm like thinking about this of age 9 or like whenever it's gonna be.
Yeah. My best friend Megan has a teenager, and she's like,
oh, I know it only gets harder.
Just wait for this stuff.
Right.
Because this is teenager
real world
is emotional, real stuff.
Yeah.
You know, especially they're going through when I was a teenager, I was desperately insecure and depressed. And I can only imagine that that's fairly normal. Yeah. But I mean, you have to be able to talk to your parents.
Yeah.
They're gonna hide things from us, but they have to feel like they can talk to us about some things.
I know. That's been Chase and I've been really agreeing on that. We've really
y'all agreed.
I don't know what I was working for there. We've
in agreement.
Yes.
You're in agreement.
We are in agreement about like really having open communication, not in like a freaky like crossing boundaries way, but
you don't want to be like, mom and dad just fucked.
Right.
How's that feel?
Right. Like, but I want him to be able to ask questions, whether that's to me or just Chase. But I want both boys to be able to ask questions, and there not be a weirdness or shame or anything like that around it. I don't really feel like I grew up with that. Yeah. And I do think that's probably maybe more of a generational thing.
Well, it's a religious thing. All my friends that grew up with religious, I mean, I didn't. My family was not religious, but all of my friends that grew up with very like intensely religious families, they all have a lot of them have a lot of trauma involved with, you know, just the shame that they feel about sex early on, and the shame that they felt about masturbation, and the shame that they felt about, I mean, I think all people to an extent feel a little shame about masturbation, because it's just, you just feel like a creep touching yourself. You're just like, am I a creep? Cool.
Yeah, but there's a different level of shame.
When you're told by a religious group that this is a sin, you're going to be condemned for eternity.
Yeah.
I mean, I have two really good friends that talk about this a lot, but like I think you spend probably a long time in adulthood trying to overcome that shame. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
So let's not do that to our kids.
I just don't want there to be, and this is not me bashing my parents for how they raised my brother and me in any way. I just would like for there to be a more open conversation. But like that's, man,
but about
toddler
that, but about drugs,
real easy,
about sex, about all the bad things.
Yeah.
You have to be honest about drugs too, about alcohol, about you have to tell them about these things, or they're going to end up at a party doing fucking fentanyl and dying.
Right. Oh,
if you've never mentioned anything to them, that's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. You have to tell. I mean, I have a daughter. It's totally different. You have to tell. You can't accept a drink that you haven't seen made. Yeah. You cannot drink something that someone gives you. If you make your drink, if you're going to drink, tell me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how it goes.
Yeah.
But you cannot drink. I mean, we'll have an episode about this too, girls and boys, but having a daughter's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Oh God.
But having any of them, it's like we have to be honest with them because they're gonna find out no matter what, and we don't want them to find out in a way that really hurts them.
Yeah, I know.
I know. What are
we
even talking about? How did we get here?
I don't know. It makes having a toddler sound really easy. This was about having
Toddlers.
a toddler and how hard it is.
Well, because they're little teenagers, that's why.
They are. Oh, so many emotions.
Yeah.
They have so many emotions. They're literally Sour Patch Kids. But all of that to say, while this has been the most, I don't want to say the hardest stage, because there's a difference in hard and challenging. Yeah. This has been the most challenging stage, but by far the best.
The best,
it has been, it is true, it's pure joy having a toddler.
Oh, like today we were just rolling around on the ground. I was holding her above my head. We were laughing hysterically. And I was doing this thing where I was like rocking her, holding her, having her fly like an airplane, and then sitting her back. And she would give me a kiss, and then we'd do it again. Yeah. She would give me a kiss, and we were just laughing hysterically together.
Like joy.
I was joyful. Like, this is these are the happiest moments of my life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're the hardest times of my life, but they're the happiest moments of my life.
They're so great.
And I can honestly say that I love this phase. Like I will not look back and think that I took this for granted, because I really am thoroughly living these moments.
Yeah.
Like I am in these moments with her, engaged. I put my phone away.
Yeah.
I make sure to take that time and put my fucking stupid phone away and look at her and engage with her. And because I will regret if I don't do that. You know? It's so important that we do that.
I know.
And we are doing that. And so I know that we're going to look back and we're not going to be like, we wasted this time complaining. No.
Oh, yeah.
Of course we complain. It's fucking hard to have your name yelled 200 fucking times when you're peeing and someone is trying to flush the toilet and stick toilet paper on your vagina while you're peeing. It's like, it's hard. But we are living these moments. Like we are. We're being present.
Oh, for sure.
That's all we can ask of ourselves, really, I think.
I felt that way since the beginning, too. I just, I don't want to miss. Do you remember that it went viral a while ago, but there was that reel that went, or that voiceover that went viral from a man saying, you have little kids for 4 years, and if you blink, you miss it.
Yeah.
Which, I kind of was annoyed by that. And there's a girl called Diary of an Honest Mom. I don't know if you follow her. You should. She's fantastic. She redid that voiceover, starting it with, you have little kids for 4 years, and if you blink, you miss it. And she goes, except that's not true, because I was there for every moment. And she re-records the whole thing. And it's so true about how she was like, I didn't miss any of it, because I was there for every tear and for every fall and for every diaper change. And it was such a beautiful twist
rendition.
Of the classic, if you blink, then they
but
grow
it is
up.
good to be reminded sometimes, even though people remind you ad nauseum. It is good sometimes to be like, all these things that are so hard, we're going to miss them so much.
For sure.
When we can't hold them anymore because they won't let us and they're too big. When we can't snuggle them to sleep. Mm-hmm. When we can't ask for a kiss on the lips because they won't want to give it to us.
But we've been there for all of that. And I think that's, I don't know, it's really sweet.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm about to do it with another little nuggie too.
I know. It's exciting.
I know. Toddlers though, they're really fun. They just are making us older.
Sour
and every single day.
Sweet.
Well, cheers to Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Cheers. They're sour, then they're sweet.
Rock, rock, rock me, mama.